Hi there, it's Tina, hypnotherapist from Action on Anxiety. So today I wanted to have a chat about anxiety and what it actually is. It's really helpful to have an understanding of what's going on when you're feeling anxious. It can be a really scary event and have lots of different symptoms and make you feel pretty awful. So it's useful to know a little bit about what's actually going on so that you can reassure yourself that this is actually, although it's a pretty awful experience, it is a normal thing to happen for us as humans when we get stressed and anxious. So, anxiety is a normal and natural emotional response. It's about our body and mind telling us that we're stressed, that it's sort of judging the situation as there being some kind of danger. The difficulty is when you're anxious is that your body can misread things at times. So when we feel stressed, it really means that our body is getting ready to help us in some way. It's getting ready to help us deal with a challenging situation. So this is called the fight or flight response. So it's releasing a lot of different chemicals into the body, two of them, adrenaline and cortisol. And this can make us feel sort of ready for action, really. And that feeling, if we can't do what the bodies are asking us to do, can end up making us feel panicky with the surge of adrenaline and cortisol that's going on within us. This can create all those symptoms, those awful symptoms that you get when you're feeling anxious. So your heart might race, you might feel quite hot, you might feel that your brain shuts down so you can't think properly. It's a really unpleasant feeling when it gets going, but it is body trying to help us and our brain trying to help us to deal with a situation that it's seeing as in some way dangerous, something that it needs to get us away from. The difficulty with modern life is that we can have a lot of these triggers that can be just day-to-day things. Life is stressful. And if we get enough of that stress over a period of time, sort of dripping in, or a big stressor that happens to us in life, then it means our nervous system is often triggered and ready and wanting us to take that action of getting out of there. So this can lead to us trying to suppress this feeling that we get and trying to manage it. So sort of really trying to sort of almost ignore what's going on inside of us because we need to get on with our day. We haven't got time to deal with these feelings. So our brain and body doesn't like being ignored. So on that basis, it can be sometimes that means it's going to build up even more and we get chronic anxiety where it just feels like it's there all the time, day in, day out. It may affect us at night as well with our sleep, and it can become a really big problem and take over our life. But we need to hold on to the fact that this is a natural process that's gone a little bit awry. All the symptoms that come with it, some, as I say, which can be pretty unsettling, such as like heart thumping and palpitations. And some people with anxiety do end up in A&E thinking there's something going on with their heart, whereas actually it is this natural response that's going on. Obviously, it isn't something that we want to have to put up with because it's so unpleasant when it gets to be a chronic thing. So it is about finding ways to deal with it, but it is helpful to understand what is going on because it can be scary. And if we do understand it more, it means that we can take off the extra layer of fear that may come in about what the hell is going on in our body. And that can help to settle those extra feelings of stress because we're so fearful of what's going on. So understanding it is a good thing. So yeah, stress and tension and anxiety, they can mean that we have lots of worries, we feel a sense of dread or fear. And again, this is our body trying to get us to listen to it, to get out of where we are. We can feel very restless or on edge. We might need to keep pacing. It's hard to sit still and relax. We can get brain fog so that we can't think very clearly. We can't focus. So that can be difficult if we're trying to work or trying to just get through our daily tasks. We can also feel quite irritable. It can put us on edge. make us react to things perhaps that we other times we might not do. I mean, in quite an angry or irritable way. As I said before, we can also get issues with our sleep. We can't sleep very well, we can't settle. It feels like our mind doesn't switch off ever. We can get a lot of tension held in our muscles, particularly a lot of people tend to experience them in their shoulders and neck, where we can get a lot of tension and aching and pain because of that. We can start to feel avoidant of things, so anything that triggers the stress we can start to avoid, which might mean that we're not socializing anymore, we're not meeting with people, perhaps we're not going out as we would normally, we're not going to busy places. So yeah, it has a major effect on our life. Of course, for some people it gets to the point where panic attacks start happening, so they actually start to feel out of control of this reaction that they're having to stress, and that is really quite scary. That's really unpleasant. So some people can get quite isolated with their anxiety, tend to avoid more and more and more because of the feelings that it creates. But need to remember there is help for anxiety. There are things that you can do yourself, which I'll be talking about in future videos, and there is help out there with therapy. So yes, so I just wanted to really talk today about what actually is anxiety and stress, and how can it affect you, so that you know that it's a normal thing. It is a normal reaction, but it has got a little bit out of control for certain people, and this is where it starts to take over your life. So it's really important to reach out and get the support you need and get help with it. Okay, well, I hope that information's been useful to you. I hope it's reassuring in some way that all these symptoms are normal symptoms of stress, and that there's nothing abnormal going on here. Anyway, this is Tina. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.